America's greatest weapon isn't its army. It's its geography. From two vast oceans to endless rivers that flow deep into the continent, the United States was gifted something few nations ever had. Natural advantages so powerful, they shaped not only its destiny but the balance of power across the world. But how exactly did the shape of its land, its rivers, plains, and borders, transform a young republic into the most powerful nation on Earth? Let's uncover the hidden map behind America's rise. When you look at the United States on a map, it might seem like a simple patch of land between the Atlantic and Pacific. But geography made it almost unbeatable. Start with the Mississippi River system, the backbone of American power. This isn't just one river, it's a network of more than 25,000 miles of navigable waterways that connect the country's heartland to the Gulf of Mexico. That means crops grown in the fertile Midwest, corn, wheat, and soy, can reach global markets cheaply and efficiently. Transporting goods by river costs a fraction of what it would by land, and this gave American farmers and industries a massive head start long before railways or highways were built. Then there's the Great Plains, stretching from Texas all the way up to Canada. These plains are among the most productive agricultural zones on the planet. With a mild climate, flat terrain, and rich soil, they became America's breadbasket, feeding not only its people but half the world. No empire can rise without food security, and the US had that from day one. But it wasn't just what lay within America that mattered, it was what surrounded it. The Atlantic Ocean on the east and the Pacific Ocean on the west acted like natural moats, protecting the country from foreign invasions. While Europe was torn apart by endless wars, and Asia faced shifting empires, America had the luxury of isolation. Its enemies were an ocean away, and that meant it could build, grow, and industrialize without constantly looking over its shoulder. To the north, it had a peaceful neighbor, Canada. To the south, Mexico, which was never a major military threat. Geography gave the US something incredibly rare: secure borders. That allowed it to focus on economic growth rather than military survival. By the time the 19th century rolled in, America was expanding westward. The Louisiana Purchase in 1803, which doubled the size of the country, wasn't just about land. It was about control of the Mississippi River and the port of New Orleans, the key gateway for exports. Thomas Jefferson knew it wasn't simply a political move, it was a geographical masterstroke. As settlers moved west, they encountered another major advantage: a series of navigable rivers and natural harbors. Unlike Africa or South America, where mountain ranges and deserts cut off regions from one another, the US had an interior that was remarkably connected. This easy transport network allowed goods, people, and ideas to move freely, something that would become vital for industrialization. Even the Appalachian Mountains, once seen as a barrier to expansion, turned out to be mild compared to other mountain ranges worldwide. They didn't divide the country, they guided its rivers eastward and created mineral-rich zones that powered early American industry. By the late 1800s, the US had another major advantage: resources. Coal in Pennsylvania, iron ore in Minnesota, oil in Texas, the land seemed to have everything a rising superpower needed. Geography had placed these treasures in accessible locations, close to rivers or railways, which made extraction and trade easy. Before we continue, if you enjoy understanding why countries rise and fall through the lens of geography, make sure to hit the like button and comment below. Do you think geography still matters in the age of technology? Your opinion might feature in our next video. Now, let's look at how America's coastlines shaped its power. On the Atlantic side, ports like New York, Boston, and Philadelphia became global trade hubs. New York's natural deep harbor, combined with the Hudson River and the Erie Canal, connected the coast to the Great Lakes, and from there, to the heart of the continent. That link turned New York into the economic capital of the world long before Wall Street existed. Meanwhile, on the Pacific coast, ports like San Francisco, Los Angeles, and Seattle opened trade routes to Asia. The completion of the Transcontinental Railroad in 1869 connected the two oceans, allowing goods and people to move from coast to coast in days instead of months. America had effectively created its own internal global market. And let's not forget climate. The United States spans nearly every major climate zone, from tropical in Florida to Arctic in Alaska, which allows a wide range of crops and resources. That diversity created economic resilience. Even when one region struggled, another thrived. But geography didn't just make the US wealthy, it made it powerful. When World War II began, America's geography gave it unmatched advantages. It could supply allies across both oceans while staying relatively safe from direct attacks. Its vast land allowed for enormous industrial production, tanks, ships, planes, without the fear of bombings that crippled Europe and Japan. The US became the arsenal of democracy, and geography made that possible. After the war, those same oceans that once protected it became pathways of power. American naval dominance allowed it to project influence globally, securing trade routes, building alliances, and establishing military bases across key maritime choke points. Geography gave it access to both the Atlantic and Pacific worlds, something no other superpower possessed. Then came the Cold War. The US could use its oceans as buffers while the Soviet Union was locked deep inside Eurasia, surrounded by rivals and difficult terrain. American bombers and ships could reach Soviet borders. Soviet ones couldn't easily reach the US. Geography again tilted the balance. Even in the modern era, as technology and globalization reshape economies, America's geography continues to play a silent but decisive role. The shale revolution, driven by the geology of Texas and North Dakota, turned the US into an energy superpower. Its vast land still supports agriculture at massive scale. Its rivers and railroads still move goods cheaper than almost anywhere else. And its position between two oceans allows it to pivot between Europe and Asia, the two most economically important regions on Earth. The US isn't just at the center of global politics, it's at the center of the world's map. That's not to say geography guarantees success forever. Climate change, shifting trade routes, and rising powers like China could test America's natural advantages. But if history has shown anything, it's that geography creates opportunity, and few countries have used it better than the United States. So the next time you see a map of America, look beyond the borders and names. See the rivers that carried its goods, the plains that fed its people, and the oceans that kept it safe. These are the silent forces that turned a young nation into a global empire. If you found this fascinating, give this video a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments. Do you think geography is still America's greatest weapon, or has technology replaced it? And don't forget to subscribe. We explore how geography shapes power every single week. Thanks for watching.